this. Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.
Hey everyone. Why did I say I had so much sadness in there? I had so much sadness in there. Hey everyone.
It's just the drowiest way you could have said it.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope you're having a good day. I know we're having a better day than Jonathan. Oh, too soon. Oh man. Shout out to the black people. It's a black. I'm sorry. Okay, this man is going being charged. Well, I'm not making a joke out of it. It just. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
J King, how you doing?
Look, we got a lot to talk about, but I'm good. I'm good. Just we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. To all you the black creators out there, I hope that again you make some good decisions for yourselves in the future, because you don't know, you make one bad decision, one thing after another, and before you know it, your whole career goes away. And I'll get and it doesn't matter, because you can be as strong, indestructible all you want, but when it comes to issues like this, nobody's
okay, for real.
Nobody. I'm saying nobody.
Okay, hold on. I got a better one. Just make sure to all of y'all, make sure that you got it locked down, because the next thing you know, you gotta.
Man, listen. Breaking news. Live footage. Oh man. Okay. All right. Got a show to run. But man, listen. To a lot of people, I can see on the internet, you have not heard. you know, I don't know why you here, but anyway, yes. So Jonathan Majors has been fired from the House of Mouse,
And
and
found guilty.
from the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe because this man, as you see here, reported from Deadline here, has been fired by Disney and Marvel Studios after his assault guilty verdict. Actor has played Kang the Conqueror and no longer will be playing Kang the Conqueror in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So
The Kang who did not conquer.
right, he did not conquer this battle, and I know for a lot of us and for some people there, you know, when they saw this verdict, you know, a lot of people had
emotional damage.
yes, you know, when immediately, when some black men when they saw this after they saw the video of him running, dashing away from her, and a lot of men were like,
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
yeah, still. Shout out to my wife, to me. Shout out to black women. I know we hurt y'all so much. I'm so sorry. And you know what? Hey, you saw this coming. Man, why am I such a bad man? Let's read the article here. Yeah, let's get into it. I'm sorry. I'm just low energy with this, man. I'm just sad. Anyway, let me read this article here from Jonathan Majors. Let me share my screen. I'm sorry, I have just my emotions, man. Another one bites the dust, man. I'm not, not a fan of this, but again, it's like understand the pattern behavior and the things, the evidence and stuff that's presented, and when the legal system, presents itself and stuff like that, there's nothing more we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like we all got different opinions when it comes to this, but at the end of the day, we all got different opinions at the end. But at the end of the day, we're not the judge who made the final verdict. We're not the court that made the final verdict. They made the decision themselves based on what they saw. It's out of our hands.
Right. And I want us to be careful of, again, I know we were joking around with this, but on a serious note, again, because this is a situation that a lot of black men, get themselves in. And I know, especially, us, I'm speaking as this, I'm a black man, Jay King's one too, and we don't want to see, especially someone who's very talented, get into this predicament. But again, it's not show friends, it's show business. And when you play this difficult game of life and get yourself in situations, and then yet you have a level of responsibility, i.e. a platform, you then getting yourself in things where you wish you didn't have, and it's unfortunate. But this is an article coming from Deadline. Jonathan Majors is out of Marvel Studios' kingdom. The news came out today in the wake of the Emmy-nominated actor being found guilty of reckless assault and harassment in his domestic violence trial by a 6-person New York City jury. And this is New York, by the way. It was just their laws and stuff. But a studio representative confirmed the news about their decision to not move forward with Majors in the MCU. Having struck with the actor over the months since his arrest on March 25th of this year, WME continued to represent Majors. His longtime agent, Elaine Raspilli, testified briefly in Majors' defense last week as the last witness in the nearly 2-week trial. He Who Remains was plotted to be the big baddie during the MCU Phase 5 and Phase 5 and 6, with the character getting his own movie, Avengers Kang Dynasty, scheduled to come out currently right now, May 1st of 2026. Mind you, that currently about to begin a new year. We're only 2 years away from that film, so we have some time to course correct. But the movie recently saw its director Shang-Chi, Destin Daniel Cretton, exit due to his busy schedule on other Marvel projects such as Shang-Chi 2. Is to be determined in regards to whether Marvel will keep Kang the character intact while recasting the part with another actor. Michael Waldron recently was tapped to write Avengers King Dynasty. This was after being set on Marvel's Phase 6 finale, which would be Avengers Secret Wars. He wrote Loki season 1 as being the showrunner for that show and was brought aboard to give these Avengers film a fresh take, given the situation they have with Majors. Now, Jay King, I just want to know what is just your thoughts on this whole situation here as a whole, not knowing that that not only that Marvel. Hey, sorry, my light too bright. You see me? I'm kind of like too dark. Oh, you can see me. All right. But yeah, Jay King, what's just your thoughts? Not only the fact that Marvel is moving in a new direction with away from Jonathan Majors, but also it's still unclear, and we're gonna get into it, in this show about Jonathan Majors, about the King, the character might be going away or might be staying intact. We don't know. The future's uncertain. So, what's just your thoughts on this whole thing?
I mean, as you said, future's uncertain. Again, there's many directions they can go with this. And again, it's still very early for us to know where they're going to go because we just got this verdict today and his sentence isn't until February. So there's still, this just happened. This is a very, very, very fresh wound that it's like they probably have a lot of plans that they had on the back in case this happened. And now that it is, and now that they've officially fired him, it's like, they're probably saying, okay, will this actually work or will it won't? Like where they're going with this. I hope they don't drop Kang. Look, I've said this multiple times. Kang is a character that can be recasted because he is a multiversal variant and literally anyone else can play him. I mean, look, I like Majors' portrayal of him in what we've gotten within Loki season 1 and 2 and Quantumania. But like again, it's very similar to what happened with War Machine and what happened with Hulk and what's gonna happen with Thunderbolt Ross. We can replace this character, especially this character, that can look like anybody in any given age, young, old, whatever. Like we can recast Kang. Again, is that the route they're gonna go? I hope so, because honestly, the Kang stuff can still work. It just needs a bit of a refresh and a bit of a course correction. But I don't think they should drop him like the character. Majors, of course, gone, but the character, don't give up just yet on Kang because it could still work. You just would have to redo some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. I think again, this is a fortunate situation, but you have to understand this too. Like again, I know they with the current state of Marvel, which we're gonna get into it actually beginning of the new year, that we're gonna be recapping all of Marvel 2023. I was gonna plan to do it for the show tonight, but I can't because Marvel's What If is still coming out later, this week or next week, and I want to make sure we cover all of Marvel, 2023, rightfully, not just leaving that, off to the side. Again, it's still something to talk about, but it also give a good, recap of the new year, leaving that behind, and we're moving forward and stuff like that. So, but yeah, just stay tuned for that. But again, I think for me, Kang as a character, we're just talking about the character, let alone the actor. The character for me, I felt have not been well established within the MCU, aside from in Loki, right? Even when we get to a cinematic level with Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I felt for me personally, I think that was a big letdown for Kang. And even then, the story of why are we having Kang the Conqueror in an Ant-Man film? Especially that we got Fantastic Four on the way and other characters that are directly tied to Kang. They have not done, in my opinion, done a good job to actually make us really care about the Kang storyline, aside from Loki, which in Loki season 2, 20%, I think 20% of his viewership actually dropped from season 1 and season 2. But again, aside from all of that, I wanted them to put the Loki, style of storytelling of this character and put it in the films. But we just haven't got to that point. And now we're not even gonna get it with Jonathan Majors at this point, So but now do we throw away that character? No, I don't think so. But I think again we have to course correct. Now we have maybe a second chance of a revival of this character, not just with a new actor, but a new direction to make him an actual threat, and that connects to everybody within the MCU, not just with Loki and Ant-Man for a little particular, little scene and everything. So, especially when we build up to Avengers King Dynasty. Now, I made a video today on my Instagram, basically giving a few options about what they're going to do with King. Obviously, the one option which they did was to definitely have fired or Jonathan Majors from the role. So he's not going to be coming back in Marvel whatsoever. Now, as a cameo, nothing. He is done. Aside from that, the other two options about what not only continuing with the character of Kang in the movies, still staying on target with in terms of what other films that he might be in, but at this point, the other option was them going to a different character, which is Doctor Doom. And now, me personally, shout out to Wally in the building. Shout out to Wally. Because personally, I felt that they are not in a position to actually creatively or narratively bring in Doctor Doom now, just based on where they're currently at with Marvel. Again, because the fact that we're bringing in Doctor Doom and much he's a great villain, for you to actually make him the big villains, especially let's say for Secret Wars, right? Instead of it being the Beyonder, let's make it Doctor Doom, whatever, right? You have to make Doctor Doom a more universal threat than just a Fantastic Four villain threat, because that's where he is currently. So where it like making him a Doctor Strange villain for something like that, possibly like doing something like that, that actually build up, because we heard reports of them doing another Doctor Strange, another Shang-Chi, another Spider-Man film. So we don't know. We only got like really about 2 years, a short time frame in terms of where we know where they're going to be doing with Kang at this point. So, but I'll just ask you this question then. Aside from this, what if they were to go with Doctor Doom? How do you think narratively you think that whether that be a good idea or to actually just be, biting off more than we can chew?
I want them to bring in Doom. I have been wanting like a really good adaptation of Doctor Doom, because what we've gotten so far back with Fox, the first time was a good start, but there's definitely a lot to want in there. And we're not even going to talk about Fan Four Stick. So I've been waiting for like a very good adaptation of Doctor Doom for years. That being said, I don't want him to be the big villain of the multiverse saga for Secret Wars and all that. The only reason that people have been thinking it's Doom is because when it comes to the original Secret Wars and the 2015 version, which is the one that the movie most likely will be based on, he was the big villain, or at least the ending villain from both of those. Like he ended up being a big part in both of those, because as much as he is a Fantastic Four villain, he has been a villain for many other Marvel heroes and has, thanks to his delving in magic, become a multiversal threat when the time comes for it. He doesn't overstay his welcome as a multiversal threat, as more so than he does when he is a Fantastic Four villain. It's only when it makes sense that they let that happen, when they let him become God Emperor Doom, which again has only happened twice. I don't want them to just bring him in just because he's the only option. Like if they thought that Kang could work for Kang Dynasty and for Secret Wars, then I don't want them to drop that. I'm not saying don't ever do Doom. I'm just saying maybe now's not the time. Maybe, yes, introduce him in like, say, Doctor Strange 3. I could see that happening, especially since, again, many people don't know Doom delves in magic a lot, especially given his backstory with his mother. Like if you want to introduce him in, Doctor Strange 3 and maybe even be a character within Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, then yes, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them being another factor within it. I just don't think, after putting all this investment into Kang, that you just drop him for like the other option just because he's the villain of the comic book version of both Secret Wars. Like I don't think that's a good idea. If you spend so much investment, and if it, again, as you said, we only have 2 years before that, unless they move the dates back, which I very well can see being a possibility that they'll move the dates again. But until then, I don't want them to just just go, okay, Kang ain't working. Who was the dude in the actual Secret Wars? Doom. Okay, let's go Doom. Like I would have even been okay if it was the Beyonder, if, in my opinion, because it's almost on the same ish level of Kang. But Doom, I just feel like that's a little too soon to make him a big Avengers level threat. Well, he'll always be an Avengers level threat, but it's a little too soon to do it for that, especially when we don't have that much build up. That's just my opinion, but I feel like it would just be way too soon. Like
Mhm.
introduce him as a side component to it, yes. Have him be the big villain? No. You could have him be someone that opposes Kang, but don't have him take over the storyline of the multiversal saga.
Yeah, because I think again, like everyone is the my issue with it is that it's the go-to answer. Now, yes, I put that as a response in my video on Instagram about it, but the point what I was trying to make again, okay, listen, if you're trying to say if this King storyline is not working for you at all, then of course, then obviously the direction is to take to Doctor Doom. But again, the reason why Doctor Doom is so great is because again, he's such a powerful villain, but a villain that's able to overarch through multiple different characters, not just in the realm of Fantastic Four, but the Avengers, to again to Doctor Strange, to a lot of other mystical characters as well. Wakanda with Black Panther. Like there's also like a lot of ties, which we had a lot of missed opportunities to be honest with you with that. But that was, I think, for me, my biggest issue. That if they're going to go with that, that it's going to be cheap. That it's going to be cheap. That if they and a cop out, honestly, because it's the same thing where how I felt where spoiler alert when we saw Beast at the end of the Marvels, where I felt like that scene wasn't earned because it was predictable. So at this point, when we see Doctor Doom, at this point, it's going to be predictable instead of surprising, and I don't want that, So I don't want there to be a level of anticipation of his character that's set up, but in a way that's like, okay, he's coming, but at the same time I don't want to be like, okay, Doom, boom, we got it. No,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
that's not. You don't just rush a great character like that.
Especially not Doom. Especially not Doom. You wouldn't rush Galactus or even Annihilus. You wouldn't rush any of those characters. Don't rush Doom.
Right, and again, like he has strong ties in terms of the Marvel universe, like, but cinematically, he has not had the his diligence in terms of his character and what he could be. Neither
Mhm.
iterations have done a good job of putting him into the scale that he could be, and that he should be, honestly, right? In
Right.
terms of the films. Because again, there's a difference of saying, "Oh yeah, this might be a great comic and everything," but is he a great movie character? Kang might sound like a great character and have multiple different versions of villains and stuff like that, but is he a great movie character? And have you, as the filmmaker or the writer, have structured your story in a way that actually able to make all this come together, whether the multiverse, timelines, variants, all that stuff, not that convoluted, and actually making fans anticipate, okay, I want to see the next variant, or I want to see the next version of his character. And then we just seen the big one, which was Kane the Conqueror, which we thought that was going to be the big guy, and then just to him just get beat by ants. We never saw Thanos get diminished like that. He was all put up to the side, like in Guardians of the Galaxy, and Ronan the Accuser stood up to him, but he wasn't like defeated by some damn, like
Yeah,
ants
like
or anything like that
the
as a
thing,
cop out.
right? Like the thing with Thanos is like, even though we didn't get to see him fight until Avengers Infinity War, his presence from the first Avengers film when we saw him for the first time, to his cameo in Guardians of the Galaxy, to his ending credit in Age of Ultron, every single time that we would see him would just be this looming presence that's just like, oh, this man will do some damage. And it's like, that he's tied in with these stones that we're seeing, and you're just waiting for the moment for him to come in. It's just like the threat of him is a looming one, even though you don't see much. But the minute you do, what did this man do within our first actual fight with him? Beat down the Hulk, kill Heimdall, kill Loki, and pretty much wipe out half of the Asgardian people. Like that was just instant. And yes, while that was for his movie and wasn't for anything set up before, every other time we saw him, it was always this looming presence, like in Guardians, where he promised Ronan that he would kill him if he failed him. And you could hear it in his voice, like, I'll bathe the starways in your blood. Like, again, that was enough for us until we got more time with him. The difference here is that they wanted to give us a little bit of Kang beforehand, which is not a problem. The problem is you need to make people understand why he can be a very good villain. I'm not saying that. Well, okay, I'm not saying we repeat Infinity War and have the heroes lose every time. But if you're going to bring in Kang and you especially want him as your big bad, you have to make his presence known so that even if he didn't successfully win, he wasn't defeated either.
Right. I understand. I completely understand with that. But now, okay, because now this is where we are right now currently. Where do you see again in this year in terms of Jonathan Majors recovering his career, if there is any hope?
I mean, look, this whole thing has been going back and forth with all the evidence and everything, with all the testimonies, with even the girl Grace Jabari, what she's been saying did happen instead of what people were assuming happened and all that stuff. This has been a very back and forth. So again, we'll learn everything on like the finalization of everything in February. But if he is to go away for like a year, this is 100% going to damage his career. It's going to take a very long time for him to recover if there is. But if there is a chance for him to recover, I feel like it'll be a slow process of him getting back there again. It's always going to be a stain that is always going to be there. But I feel like he could, if again, he does have to go away for a year. If I feel like there's a chance, there's maybe a small chance because again, he's a good actor. But again, with just all this whole thing going on, no matter how you look at it, no matter what side you're on, no matter if you know all the details or not, this has damaged his career. No matter what side you look at it, this has damaged his career, and it's going to take a minute for him to get back on his feet. With however the verdict, like the final statement and everything goes in February. So again, we have to wait till then to know. But I'm just going to say right now, there's a chance he could pick himself back up off the ground after it's all said and done. But it's going to be a very slow process because everybody is going to always have that in the back of their heads. Like, even though there are some people that are like, after this whole thing, there are a lot of people that don't see him or the girl in a good light. Like, there's definitely something up with both of them, sadly. So it's like, there's always going to be that thing in the back of people's heads. Even if they do want him for their projects, it's always going to be in the back of their heads about what happened, what went down, the whole like almost full year like process. Again, by the time we get the final say so in February, it has been almost a full year since this whole thing was going on. So like,
Mhm.
so it's like, almost a full year of this whole back and forth evidence getting presented. He said, she said, witnesses and everything like that. So again, like this is just sorry, Majors, like your career is just it's going to be at a very big standstill right now. You have a chance to recover from everything, but it's gonna take a very long process.
Yeah, because I was discussing this with a few friends of mine after work about this. Is like, okay, we understand the media, we have amnesia, meaning that we're gonna from now really gonna be talking about this in a couple of months. Obviously, there's some other things such as like Kanye West has a new album coming out, and you know how he's had issues with a certain community, and that's probably gonna be getting some flack. Um, you have Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle has his special that's coming out by the end of the year, which people are going to be talking about, just knowing him being a controversial figure and stuff. So there are going to be other things that are going to be in terms of him getting out the spotlight. But I've seen a lot like actors, whether they pay their time and do and everything, and then try to rebuild their career. For example, I saw a lot of lists of names of actors who have been in some like similar situations or just with issues with the law but still have successful careers. One noticeably was Robert Downey Jr. Robert Downey Jr. Definitely had there was some drug charges. I forgot what other charges he got, but yeah, he definitely had issue with addiction when he was younger. But and you
Hmm.
can see pictures of him arrested, handcuffed, and all that stuff. And now, by grace of God, got himself clean and everything. Have a wife, have children and stuff, and now he's having has a successful career. And to this day, just having a successful career. But again, that was his past. That's a part of him that he was arrested
Mhm.
for, for those crimes and everything. But again, the conversation, and I'm not trying to sympathize someone that obviously, because again, the 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 evidence that was provided, obviously from both parties, you can see there's a case to be made of at least of there's some a uh, toxic or unhealthy relationship, um, or also situations where wrong place, wrong time, or wrong person, wrong time. And I can definitely see Majors as a person might be dealing with some things, might have anger issues, which is okay, not okay, but I'm just saying we can able to work on that. But also for young lady too, not understanding that she's in a situation too, being publicly scrutinized as well in a situation that she not hopefully did never ask for. So yeah, it's very it's a difficult conversation to have. Um, but I just again my statement to black men, is that if you're in the entertainment spotlight and stuff, again, there's a proceed with caution. Obviously, for me, I'm a film critic and I'm putting myself out in the public eye and stuff. I also have a level of responsibility protecting myself and not getting myself in situations. But again, it's just a shame that I see a lot of talented black male actors and Will Smith, etc. Um, and I don't want them to get themselves in predicaments in the future. But again, you know, um, when you reach your highest moment, wherever that's when the devil want to try to come for you. But
Mhm.
I just want everybody to use this as a case study to make, better decisions in relationships. Like for me, I mean, I'm married now, but I can say like no, I probably didn't make the best decisions in the past relationship wise. I mean, I never not beating on it or doing any of these, crazy, charges or anything, but I'm saying like if you have my issues with your character, issues with, anger or anything like that, address it, go to therapy, go counseling, address those things away. Because once you're leading that to affecting somebody else, then that's really becomes a problem. And for me, I'm just saying I was a person where I had issues in my personal life. I had issues with depression, anxiety, and things, while I was like in relationships, and that wasn't very unhealthy. And especially when other people that you care about are involved. So, which is why I'm just expressing whatever that is for you. For some other people, that might be alcoholism, that might be addiction, whatever that form where in your life that is being damaging, uh, the way you're able to communicate to people. If you have narcissistic, personality, whatever, again, uh, identifying that at an early stage in your life so way that you don't keep repeating the same pattern of bad behavior. Because again, what you saw with Majors, there definitely was a pattern of things that I can say that he was having some issues and stuff, but we all have issues and everything. But again, um, I'm just saying this as a person that who've grown, made mistakes, not these crazy mistakes, but but just hey, just grow and evolve as a person, making better decisions for myself and my life, and then now because of that, I am reaping the benefits of that. And I know Jay King probably is the same. Other men, probably people are watching. Like we're not perfect people, and we might have a season in our life where we might be low, trying to figure things out, and or just struggling, in the dirt, right? And so I just kind of advocate for people to, again, just that when it's affecting other people, is to take a step back and learn, increase your level of self awareness, also level of forgiveness, to others and yourself. If you're holding on to things, trauma, whatever that might be. To women, if you're going in these situations and toxic relationships and seeing patterns of behavior, protect yourself, but also making sure that you're also understand you're making yourself a decision, not putting yourself in these predicaments where this situation can happen and you're on the shade room and on public television and everything. Um, and again, and it is frustrating on all people. This is a very emotional thing. A lot of women, my mother was in domestic violence before, just before she met my father. So I understand this definitely hits home to me. And I also understand, as a black man, there's a system out there to attack every black male entertainer's image. I understand that. So that's why I'm just asking you guys, and us, tread carefully and just and proceed with caution, making sure you're making the right decisions moving forward. But yeah, aside from that, I want to talk about what possibly next film that we can probably see Kang the Conqueror, or show possibly that might kind of give a direction what they might do, but also giving a question about if they were to recast Jonathan Majors' role as Kang the Conqueror, who would you think would be be a good fit? I'm asking J King.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Thinking about the projects we have upcoming, I'd say if there's anything, I could 100% say that the Fantastic Four film would 100% be a place to bring in another version of Kang, especially since Rama Tut is the first version that technically gets shown in the comics and is in Fantastic Four, and the first time we meet Kang. So that's definitely one place. Other than that, hard to tell. Maybe potentially if they want to tie Kang into, the 10 rings, could be Shang-Chi 2 in some particular way. I have no clue. Maybe if they were to do a third season of What If, maybe that, because again, we got What If season 2 coming out this week. Maybe if they were to do, I'll do a third season. Maybe they could have some tie in there. Again, with the Watcher being a multiversal character. Again, it's just hard to tell. And maybe, again, it's really hard to tell right now, especially given what we do know is coming out within the next 2-ish years right now. Again, I feel like if anything, as you said, Comic-Con this upcoming year, we'll definitely know a lot more, and maybe even some projects that get announced there will give us an idea of maybe where we could see him again if they don't just straight up tell us. Anyone who I'd want, there's a lot. Again, this could go in either route. It could go from an actor that many people know to an actor that is unknown that could play Kang. But if I were to go with an actor that is known, who could potentially go, I in my head have two options. One is and I know a lot of people have said this too, John Boyega. I can honestly see it a little bit, that he could potentially play Kang. The other person that I see going that route, especially, and we're actually going to see him again this year, is Yaya, aka Manta. Especially since the DCU officially comes to an end this year, and he will no longer be tied to that role. Who knows? Maybe he might want to. Again, as I said, it could go to anybody. Like, it literally could go to anybody at this point. But if I were to choose at least two actors, maybe that route. Maybe that route. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because yeah, there's a lot of people who are saying, like, in terms of actors that are looking to basically be recasting this role. Also like Damon Interest, or Damon Interest, who's like in I forgot the show. Why am I forgetting the show? He played a drug dealer. Well, I am drawing the blank. Damn, I might be myself over it. But yeah, I'm trying to find who are these actors are replacing him. Give me a picture. One second. So 1 second. I'm trying to find a picture right here. So other actors and then other listed here. I mean, obviously excuse Javier Bardem, obviously. Yeah, shout out to Red Pill. Shout out to Red Pill Ranger in this. Hey, if you want to come up on the show, you can give some thoughts on the issue.
Yeah, I was also going to say that too. What Red Pill said, the dude who played Hawkman and Black Adam, that would be my third choice.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of people here. Trying to see. I'm trying to find the picture here. Yeah, there's many people that can be. Also, I know a lot of people were trying to say they won the High Evolutionary back. Even though I feel that's one of like the best like villains they had. That came in at least this past year. But yeah, the main one a lot of people are talking about is the Damon interest, and to basically be a replacement for Jonathan Majors, if they did. But he might have been contacted. We don't know, but only time will tell. But you see here, a second.
I mean, I know it would be a bit of a stretch to kind of have the High Evolutionary end up becoming the big bad, unless they wanted to say out of nowhere he was a Kang variant. But honestly, given the character's backstory, I can kind of see it, especially in the terms of Battle World. I can kind of see it, but that's a stretch, though.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know, and it's It's like I gotta see it once they, uh, but yeah, I'll believe it when I see it, honestly. Because again, I can. It's easy to just cast somebody, say hey, I cast you in this set role as this character. Boom, right here. I mean, but anybody can do that. Like, hey, do you think this actor can be a good Kang? I'm like, yeah, if you're a good actor, so what? I mean, so, but yeah, I don't know. I just think honestly, it can be a different. They can go a different direction in terms of, again, with the what type of actor they can use. 'Cause I guess because Jonathan Majors, I think he's in his 40s, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I mean, weird because Damon Interest and John Boyega, they're in their 20s, or late 20s, I believe.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah. Let me see. Um, Yeah, I mean, I honestly can't think of honestly about this, but it's just double edged sword because whoever you pick will be it's just like, okay, well, I mean, anybody else can be in this set role. But just like once they cast and actually see them moving forward, I don't see an announcement of Kang until next Comic Con. I
Hmm.
really don't. So it's my opinion. But yeah, about to bring up somebody here. Shout out to Red Bull Ranger. Rep, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How about you?
Doing good, doing good.
The key.
Obviously, you've seen the news today.
The key.
Um, so yeah, so what's your thoughts?
The key. Keith Stanfield. He would be the best choice. If you've seen that horrible movie, Death Note, when he played L, it was fucking amazing. The movie was terrible. His performance was amazing. I think Lakeith Stanfield would kill that role. I think he should be the number one choice. As far as what happened with Jonathan Majors, I don't know. I don't know. They found some weird texts. I think they had a toxic relationship overall. I don't think he did nothing to her that night, but I think he did something to her before. They just kind of mashed everything together. Got him. Because it was some weird texts. Trying to talk her down. Like, you remember that when that happened? But
Yeah,
just tell them this and that. So it's unfortunate. Um, I want to see how good of friends. This is gonna show how good of friends him and Michael B. Jordan really is. Michael B.
mm,
Jordan is directing and producing the next Creed movie, and they was gonna bring his character back for that. So
right.
now we're gonna test that friendship and see if they bring him back for Creed. What is that, 4?
Yeah, 4.
So it's gonna test Michael B. Jordan. The Brotherhood is gonna get tested if they write him out the movie. So we'll see.
I actually never thought about that. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that is
Yeah,
yeah,
that
because
that did not cross my mind. I was like, wow, yeah, that's correct, huh?
And Michael B. Jordan's directing it for sure. And I think he's part producer on it. It's like becoming his baby now, especially since Sylvester Stallone stepped out the franchise. agreed to become his thing. Like he joins his thing. And he has the creative power to still allow Jonathan opportunity to perform at a high level.
hmm
Because if he don't get that hook up, it's gonna be a little while before it works.
Yeah, because it's like the same thing with Johnny Depp, where I think, like, for example, okay, Johnny Depp just need beating Beetlejuice 2, and we're back on the on the train with his career. So it's like, and so again, but how do you feel about, again, the core public opinion? Everybody's majority of people are on his side, even women, part for the most part.
Um, I think most people probably weren't provided with all the evidence that the people at the trial was. Because again, those text messages that she shared were very incriminating that he did something to her. But I was under the assumption that they were trying him for that particular night, that particular incident. Uh, I don't know, man. It's just weird. It's the whole situation is weird. It's unfortunate. It's weird and unfortunate.
Yeah,
I wish the
yeah,
best for the brother. Keep your hands to yourself. She needs to learn to keep her hands to herself. And for anybody out there, man, if you gotta argue with a person like that or ever get close to this, just end the relationship.
yeah.
You know, it's if you gotta go that route, y'all might not be. I mean, you
Right.
can try some counseling and stuff if y'all got children and whatnot. I ain't trying to break up marriages and families, but you ain't got no kids, and y'all just girlfriend and boyfriend. You feel yourself wanting to punch her in the head, just leave the relationship. Like, ooh, I oughta, you know what? I oughta leave this relationship. That's how you handle that. Same thing for women too. If you just really want to attack a guy, just leave. It ain't that serious.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, I just want to because we're about to end it right here. 'Cause I didn't want to be too long for tonight. Because again, I'll open this show. I had low energy with this because just like
Yeah,
it's not, because again, this affects us also. I'm not kidding, because it's just our image, right? And I don't want, and I'm not, as a film critic. I made a video on Instagram. You probably already saw it, just about uh the uh the situation with Jonathan Majors and being fired, and and Marvel replacement. But like, yes, I have to be careful what I say about this, because it's a very, very messy situation. Um, but at the same time, I also got to admit what is reality. Like, reality is there's a consistent, trend of us, in these situations. But at the same time, watching, not aside from the video of him running, and it's, again, you're just seeing a level of behavior of aggression, because even the text messages, like, it's blasphemy from my end while I'm reading. How am I asking a white woman to be these two big black women? And, I can't. I just can't comprehend that. And and yet you already look like like you were from the civil rights era. The character he played and stuff, Lovecraft Country and all that stuff, Devotion and everything. Like, and then now for him to there's a line I remember in Lovecraft Country. I forgot which episode. As with the white woman, the blonde witch, right? He had a gun to her. And I'm trying to find it. And it's actually the line that she said was like, "You just can't come up here just being, trying to shoot on white women and stuff. You can't do that." You know, and and I'm looking at it now, just like the irony.
you just have to be careful who you tie yourself with, who you let into your life, what energy you let around you. Because chaotic people and that shit's like COVID is spread. And I'm pretty sure before this happened, he knew this woman was chaotic. He knew she had chaos, but he still dealt with her. That's the outcome of not stepping out. Got to get out, fellas, ladies, get out of there. This guy lost millions. and gonna lose millions more. We might see that guy on straight to deep. He might be on Tubi just to pay the bill. He in Tubi original. They'll take him.
Yeah, well, because I mean, I've seen on Tubi, I've seen a lot of
Low level actors like Marcus Houston.
yeah. I mean, I
Always
just
on
like yeah, because even the like certain movies where I've seen where like the title of it is like God forgives, I don't. Just
I know, right?
yes. Yeah. But again, I already said my spiel about for these actors and everything. But again, I ask people on the comment section again to make sure you be respectful as much as you can be, and stuff. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section down below about the case of Jonathan Majors. But I know Red Pill, I need you gave your final thoughts on this before we end the show.
It shouldn't be too hard. It's unfortunate for the brother. It shouldn't be too hard for them to recast him. Because even though he did a great performance in the role, like on him, the role, several great actors that can step up and fill it. And I just wish the brother the best. I hope he have a comeback. I hope he learn from this. I hope we all learn from it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sad, unfortunately.
Yeah. Jay King, what's your final thoughts on this?
I mean, I don't really know what else can be said. As we all said, like, this is just unfortunate. It's just unfortunate that this had to happen to him. And again, he was literally at the height of his career. He literally was at the height of it. And then just instant, just downward spiral of just all this BS. Again, I feel like he can make a comeback, after all this is said and done. Just got to give him some time. But as I said before, it's going to be a very, very difficult comeback, because even as you said, people's brains are very forgetful sometimes. There's still going to be those people who will not have forgotten, no matter what side of this whole conversation you're on, that will always remember this. This will always be something that will be on his record. And it's just what he's going to have to deal with from now on. But I hope that he does make a career recovery in some case. It's not going to be the same, but I just hope he makes a career recovery and doesn't let this, destroy him going forward, like any further than it already has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope again, as a content creator, black content creator myself, very careful with things I have to say. But I just will say again, I shout this and repeat this more times. Again, protect yourself, make better decisions, especially when you're in these romantic relationships, when you are reaching a certain status in life that you have a more higher responsibility than the average man, because people are looking up to you, looking at, and we don't want to see this. I would like to hopefully break this generational this curse that's like longest as a community of black men, or at least a very successful black entertainment men and everything. I don't like this. I don't want us to be known for this. So and again, I understand we know with people who have actually definitely experienced with domestic violence and everything. My mother has definitely experienced that, so I don't want us to tread lightly on that as well. Definitely the issue. But again, what you also can see here is, again, this is a case study of what not to do in a relationship. What not to do in terms of our pattern communication, even with technology. Like, you're really going to say that through a text message? Conversations, audio things. That's very concerning. So having these receipts on folks and everything. If I'm in a position where I'm trying to record my wife or for a situation for my safety, I wouldn't the relation will already be over at that point. That's, again, you gotta make smart decisions. And for me, I've been young before. We all have been young. or made poor decisions in our lives. I'm not talking about just relationships. We're just talking about in general. But again, I just encourage when you have the gift opportunity to learn and grow, from your mistakes and learn from your poor decisions, then hopefully that helps you evolve your character, but also just terms of the people that you keep around. So that way that you won't be around people that hopefully not trying to have leverage over you. The rug under you when a situation goes south. And again, I just pray the situation goes well. As well as it can for him. Also, for the young lady as well, because I understand social media just want to go at her and everything. But again, she might also have some mental illness as well, which we've seen through the reports that she definitely has some things going on as well. So I just pray for both of the people in this case and everything to take care of themselves and everything, make better decisions. But yeah, guys, let us know in the comment section down below your thoughts on Jonathan Majors being fired from Marvel and has been charged or been guilty for misdemeanor on assault and harassment. Again, it's Jedmike7 on YouTube. You can find me on Instagram as well. I'll be posting stuff on there. I do got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm bunch of interviews I have that are coming up. I've already posted, but I'm gonna post on my channel the long form videos. I just interviewed Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown. That was the best interview I had this year, and that was a dream come true. I have another interview coming up from an actress, Ego Munda from Saturday Night Live. She did the skit, Lisa from Temecula. She's a black woman on SNL. You can't miss her. She's the only one there, aside from Leslie Jones and a few others. But make sure you guys hit the notification bell on your way out. And we'll be updating anything coming from the channel as well. Till next time, this is J King, Red Pill Ranger, and this is Jedmike. Peace. We are out.
Is there anything you want the fans to know or any last thing you want to say to them before we get to see this series tonight?
This is where the fun begins.